are you guys doing today? I'm Sensei Matsumoto from KO-MMA. You can find our website at ko-mma.us. Our school here is, we reside here in Monterey Park, California. We've been teaching martial arts MMA for the last 8 years. This is one of my senior students, Orlando. Say hi, Orlando.
Yes.
So today, we're not going to talk so much about a particular type of technique, but some knowledge that you should have about martial arts that you can apply to your martial arts, whatever it may be. Right now, we live in really exciting times as far as martial arts goes because there's such an excitement about it. Martial arts is a household name now, like boxing was, like football is, and people automatically think that, hey man, I can practice martial arts for a couple months, couple weeks, and I can get in the ring and hang out with the Gracies and the best of them. And actually, martial arts is not that easy of a thing. Martial arts requires a lot of dedication, a lot of practice. Myself, I've been practicing over 30 years in martial arts, and I'm learning something new every day. And what I found out about martial arts is really, when it comes down to competing or fighting, it really comes down to the most basic of techniques. You don't find too many people getting knocked out with jumping, spinning heel kicks or fancy kicks or punches, and you don't see too many people getting submitted with the most outrageous combinations of submissions. You just don't. So when it comes to martial arts, one of the things that I try to do in teaching lessons is keeping things simple, making sure that I'm polished in everything that I do by having good basics. And this is what I want to cover today. So right now, when we talk about martial arts, what we do talk about is, we talk about stand-up fighting, right?
Yep.
And then we talk about our ground game, quote unquote, right? And what is stand-up fighting? Stand-up fighting is what?
You got kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai,
Right. Punching, kicking,
knees,
elbows, right? When we talk about ground fighting, what are we talking about when we talk about ground fighting?
wrestling, submitting,
Judo, jiu-jitsu,
grappling,
sambo, right? Everything, right? But that's all under the one cover of martial arts, right? This is all considered one martial art. And then when we call it mixed martial arts, we're not saying stand-up, we're not saying ground fighting, we're saying it's one art. And that's the way I like to look at it. So, when we're looking at it from a one art perspective, we have to understand that the puncher could very easily take out the grappler, and the grappler could very easily take out the stand-up fighter, right? It could go either way, right? That's kind of what we try to see, right? The best kickboxers versus the best ground fighters and vice versa. But in being the best, and this is where we're going to focus today, what is it about the ground fighter that makes him the best ground fighter? Or the stand-up fighter that makes him the best stand-up fighter? And it's the basics. Those are the basics that we want to see. Okay, so let's start with the stand-up portion real quick. This lesson's a quick lesson. Right leg back fighting stance. So when you're talking about a stand-up game, you're really talking about being an aggressive puncher, kicker, kneer, what have you. And as a defensive person, you have to be the type of person who can take the hits, who can block the punches, who can block the kicks. So it kind of all starts with your basic stance. Now, when we look at a stance, basic stance, upright stance, this is what we would call a 50-50 stance, 50-50 meaning that his weight is even on both legs, right? His hands are up. This is what we want. Sometimes you'll find fighters, Orlando, that are a front leg fighter here, this way, like Ernest Horst, he'll fight this way more, with more weight on the front. That gives them more advantage in punching, but also gives them the ability to sprawl a lot quicker because his weight's in the front. Then you got guys that are more upright fighters who put more weight on their back legs, so they have a better defense for kicks. See, their front leg's a little bit lighter. It kind of depends, If you want to stand up against someone, a vicious puncher kicker, it's probably better to be this way, a little bit more back, so you can protect yourself, as opposed to being kind of in front. When you're in front, you may be a little bit better for the guy who's trying to take you down, because your weight's a little bit forward. Right? Yes. But in either case, what does the stand-up fighter have to really focus on is protecting the vital areas. You guys all seen those posters in the karate magazines with all the pressure points and the pin points. You've seen all of that, right? Well, that's very true, because it doesn't take a hard punch to knock someone out. It can be a soft one, like we've seen with Kimbo Slice, right? That little jab to the head and he fell down, right? So basically, when it comes to stand-up fighting, okay, hands up, chin down, whether you're leaning forward or whether you're leaning backwards. Hands up, chin down. None of this stuff here, like I see a lot of fighters do. Okay, so that's one of the basic things that I want you to walk away from with this lesson is that as a stand-up fighter, your goal is in every attack you do, whether it's a punch or a kick or a knee, that you are tight and you're covered. So when you're first learning to punch, maybe you're going to punch this way, real loose, huh? But as you get better and you become more of a professional, your punching should be tight. And what I mean by tight is hands coming back to the face, point of origin. Chin is down even when you punch. Kicking wise, same thing. In the beginning, you know, maybe you're going to be more like Taekwondo, your hands down, kicking with your hands down. But as you become a professional, when you kick, what? You should be covered. Everything starts to become tighter. That's basically one of the biggest differences between a professional and amateur, is that a professional is always covered. Because the pro timing is so strict, right? When I hit you, you're going to hit me. So this is one of the things that we want to do as a stand-up fighter, is get tighter. Whether I kick or whether I punch, I'm always going to be cut.